Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And Amanda, big thank you to you and Journeys by Amanda for inviting me to talk to everyone this evening. My name's Pat Ludvigsen. I'm the Business Development Manager with the Globus Family of Brands and Avalon Waterways. I don't know if all of you are familiar with us or not, so if you are, bear with me. Those that aren't familiar, a little bit of background on our company. We are privately owned and operated and the largest escorted tour company in the world. Our headquarters worldwide is in Lugano, Switzerland. We have offices throughout the world, including here in Denver, Colorado, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, all around the world. Any place you can dream of going, we can get you there. We started back in 1928 with escorted touring with Globus. And Globus has been around for a long time. Matter of fact, we are celebrating, let's get this in advance. Sorry, having a little bit of, let's see if it works now. There's always a technical glitch, right? There we go. All right. So we do own and operate 3 different companies, but we started back in the 96 years plus ago with Globus, which is our premium brand for escorted touring. Some of you may be familiar with escorted or guided touring as motor coach travel, if you will, which we use more than that, but that is our primary source of getting folks around. But we use planes, trains, ferries, ships, everything, just depending on what the itinerary is. But right now we cover over 543 different vacations on 6 continents, 71 countries, and once again, we're just finishing up our 96-year, 97 in 2025. So we have been around for quite a while. Some of you may have traveled with us on one of our brands, such as Globus, or even Cosmos, which is also escorted touring, but more of a value proposition for some of you folks. And we also offer independent travel with Globus, which is more of a hosted variety where you and your traveling companions just fly to the destination, and it's hosted by one of our employees at the hotel. And obviously, we also own and operate the award-winning Avalon Waterways, which we're going to be talking primarily about this evening. But before we get into Avalon, a little bit of variety when it comes to escorted touring. Easiest way to remember where we go is the one place that we don't currently travel, and that's going to be Antarctica. We were in Antarctica in all 7 continents prior to the pandemic, and we'll probably get back there shortly enough. But right now, the demand is so heavy on Europe, Australia, New Zealand, here in the US, and other places in the world. We're kind of staying with where the flow is taking us. But we will be back. And there's some other good vendors. If you're really itching to go to Antarctica, I'm sure that Amanda can help you out with someone else that's currently operating there. But other than that, we cover the world for you. Like I said, if you can dream it, we can take you there. We offer everything from Escapes, which is our off-season product, if you're on a budget or just looking to travel during a different time of the year when it's less crowded. We also have small group discoveries and 51 new tours for 2025 in the small group discoveries, where we average only 15 passengers per departure in Europe. And outside of Europe, we average 18 passengers. So if you're looking for a small, intimate group to travel with, it's a great option for you. We also offer private touring. If any of our published tours for Europe can be made into a private tour from 1 passenger to 24 passengers. So if you're looking to take your family or else travel in your own bubble, or you just want to have your own tour director and driver, we can handle that for you. We also offer faith-based travel, cruise and tour combinations, whether it be Alaska or in the Greek Isles, rail vacations throughout Europe, as well as here in the US. We also use Rocky Mountaineer as one of our vendors. We have rail across Canada, historic trains of the Old West, and we carry probably more people to the national parks than any other tour operator. We also handle special events. We have year-round tickets as well as seats available for us, from everything from the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, the Rose Bowl Parade, the Stampede up in Canada, or even the military tattoo over in Scotland that happens every August. We've got you covered, and hotels, tour directors, the whole schmear, we've got you. So I did mention a different way of traveling independently, but just you and your traveling companion, where it's hosted at some of these properties that we use with Globus, which are in the heart of the destination. Usually walking distance to most of the attractions, restaurants, shopping, and sightseeing that you can do after touring hours. With this particular brand, there's really no tour guide that's traveling with you. It's just you and your traveling companion going to the destination, or in this case, multiple destinations like London and Paris for a week. And it includes the transportation between cities, and it's hosted by our employees at the hotel, acting as a concierge, especially for our people who are there. The packages always include hot breakfast every morning and a half day of guided sightseeing. And the rest of your time, you're there to just enjoy the destination at your own pace and see it the way that you want to, instead of traveling with a lot of other folks, which is always a lot of fun. I like them both, but it really depends on what you want in your vacation. So we really do offer the world. We've got different styles of travel for everyone. But tonight we're going to be talking primarily about river cruising with Avalon Waterways. Avalon may not be the most well-known. However, we just won another award yesterday. I don't know if you read Cruise Critic Online, which is our industry's leading independent website. It's primarily run by a company that allows travelers that have been on these products, as well as travel advisors, to vote for products. And we just won Top River Cruise Line for 2024. We also have a standing award for best cabins in river cruising. It's going on 5 years now, and 4 years for best shore excursions on the rivers too. So, and we're very grateful. All the different awards we receive every year, this is really the one that we find most prestigious, because these are not editors' picks. These are people who have traveled with us, traveled with multiple river cruise lines, as well as travel advisors listening to their passengers when they get back about their experience. And they vote on these products. We have absolutely nothing to do with it. So we're very, very proud of the accomplishments. And it's just kind of a duplicate of what we were talking about. We love our awards. We could talk about them all night, but this is the one that we primarily would really love to share with everybody. So when it comes to the rivers, you guys have a lot of choices. There are a number of good river cruise lines that operate over there, and no one's going to do travel with, you're going to have a good time. But there are some big differences as far as the way we operate and the hallmarks and the things that we like to focus on board that make us unique. Number one, best views. All of our public areas, including from your panorama staterooms all the way up, you're going to have floor to ceiling windows. You're not going to miss any of the scenery while you're traveling. Space is another one of our hallmarks. We hold fewer passengers because our rooms are larger than our competitors. And we also like to have a lot of choice options for our clients too, whether it be for dining experiences, or shore excursions, or just things to do independently. We want you to have choices. A lot of river cruise lines will include a free half-day excursion, as we do as well. The big difference is we give you your choice, where most river cruise lines have one free tour and all the rest of them, there are additional costs to them. With us, we do offer an active, a classic, and a discovery type tour whenever possible on the different ports that you're going to be visiting. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a minute. But for those that haven't done a river cruise, it's far more inclusive with Avalon than any of your deep water or else big Caribbean ships offer nowadays. Uh, the price point seems a little bit higher than, of course, doing a 7 or 10 night down in the Caribbean, but we also include more. Not only do your cruise with Avalon include all your meals, also your entertainment, but also unlimited regional beer and wine at all of your meals from lunch and dinner time. Specialty coffees are available 24/7. Soft drinks are also available free of charge with your meals too. We also include happy hour every night. Right before dinner is included as well as a half day of guided sightseeing. And when we say half day, I want you to kind of focus on that for a second, because when you buy a shore excursion in the Caribbean, the average length is about 2 hours. These are literally half day from breakfast time right afterwards until lunchtime. You're going to be gone. So you're averaging about 4 hours a day on tour that's included with your pricing. Also, we include the gratuities for any of your local guides and their drivers. So there's very little to actually have to pay for once you get on board our ships. And when we talk about space and views, it all starts off with our panorama staterooms. These are award-winning. This is 80% of the cabins that we offer on board all of our suite ships. These are 200 square foot. Floor-to-ceiling windows, 7 feet high, 12 feet wide, and it opens all the way out to let the inside in, or outside in. Sorry about that. But not only are they very large staterooms, we also have them appointed TV. So if you want to keep up with any of the local news or worldwide news, first run movies free of charge, everything's available for you. Not that you're in Europe to watch TV, but it's always nice to see what's happening back home occasionally. We also have many refrigerators in all of the staterooms. I will give you a little hint. They are stocked honor bar style, which means they have chocolate, candy, beer, wine, and liquor, as well as soft drinks in there. Now, I know when my wife and I, when we travel, we'll usually get the room steward or stewardess just to take it all out because on our first stop, we're going to buy some local wine, maybe some regional beer. And we do allow you to bring it back on the ship. We don't confiscate liquor and alcohol from you like the big ships do. And you can bring it back to your stateroom for your personal consumption. But just a little hint. And also up underneath the beds, there's plenty of storage room for your empty suitcases once you unpack. So here's one of the differences between us and some of our competitors. We do deal in what we call French balconies. They're not like traditional balconies that you have on the ships in the Caribbean. The reason being is that you just don't hang a balcony on the outside of a river ship. That space has to come from somewhere. And for cruise lines that have a traditional balcony, they've taken space out of your stateroom to give you that little bit of extra space on the outside. Remember, you're in Europe, so just like being in the Southeast, it's going to rain on occasion. There are no overhangs on the traditional balconies. With our these, once again, they're 7 feet high, 12 feet long, and they open all the way up to let the outside in. So it really is a nice feeling. And once again, you're not going to lose 30% of your stateroom for a balcony that you may not even be using. So it's just a different in philosophy. We feel that the extra space in your stateroom actually impacts your vacation in more of a positive manner than having a traditional balcony like in the Caribbean. Oop, sorry about that. And luxurious bathrooms. Ladies, if you're familiar with L'Occitane bath products, French variety, very high end, that's what we use in all of our staterooms. From shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, hand soaps, the works. Very large staterooms as well as bathrooms. Here you can see our shower stalls are angled out to give you extra room in there. Little things that make a big difference. If you notice the towels up on the left, they're different colors. My wife had to explain this to me after years of being together that occasionally she'll ask, even when we're home, which towel did you use? So she doesn't use a towel that I did. Well, when you're on our ships, you have a different color, just pick it. And once again, just drop it to the floor. If you're done with it, we'll refresh it and bring in new towels that evening when you go to dinner and just stick with the towels and the colors that you want. We also offer a little bit larger accommodations. Is one of our royal suites, which is 300 square foot, has double balcony, one in front of the bedroom area, as well as a flat screen TV on the wall there, and also one in the sitting area, as you can see right in front of another French balcony. They're very beautiful, and they are the first things that get booked on our ships every one of our voyages. It's incredible. So if you are interested in doing this on one of our voyages, be sure and get hold of Amanda as early as possible to make sure you have the best availability. And entry level, our cabins actually start off at 172 square feet. Some people call these swan views because you can see the oval windows. It's above waterline. They're not aquariums. However, if the swans are large enough, you might see one of their heads going right by the window in one of your ports. But plenty of natural light. They're very comfortable. And at 172 square foot, you can see some of the other cruise lines listed. Viking starts off at 135. Uniworld starts off at about 162. Alma starts off at 160. So we do have the largest staterooms out there. We only have 3 different size rooms. As you can see, we start off at the 172, then 200 square foot and 300. And that is all the cabins on our ship. And going back to views in space, public areas, floor-to-ceiling windows everywhere you go. This is our club lounge, which is on deck 2 all the way aft. A lot of folks don't actually explore the back end of the ship, but now you know about it. It's a great place to come back and view. You also have access to our observation or sky deck off the port or starboard ladders going up. And also, it's a very quiet area. If you want to borrow books, games, or else look at the larger TV, it's all available back here for you. And let me go back one more. And we also have our specialty coffees back here. It's available 24/7. It's a nice little machine. I wish I could bring it home with me. And so I like it better than Starbucks. It's that good. You can do everything from cappuccinos to hot chocolates, teas, ice machine in the back. And we also have goodies there throughout the day. In the morning, if you go back in for coffee or tea, there'll be fresh hot donuts, blueberry muffins. And in the afternoon, we switch over to everything from homemade cookies and other snacks that you can help yourself to throughout the day. We are eco-friendly. We've done away with single-use paper and plastic on board the ships. So if you carry a water bottle, one of the aluminum ones, I know everyone's got them nowadays. If you don't worry, see the pursers and ask for a water bottle, and they'll give you one. They're aluminum. And back here, we also have a water station where you can put your water bottle up underneath it, and there's different selections. If you want still water, sparkling water, if you want it flavor infused with vitamins, it's back here free of charge for you to use at your convenience. It's a great area. I love it. And here's our dining room. Once again, plenty of views off the port and starboard. This is actually the port side looking forward. If you notice, we have a lot of two-top tables, and we do that strategically. That way, if you meet another nice couple and you want to have dinner together one night, we can arrange it by making a four-top. But we also have tables as large as 6 to 8. We do not reserve, so there is no assigned seating. So you have the ability to come in and be seated, every evening with whoever you want to. And usually dinner starts right after the port talk, which we do in the evenings, usually from 6 to 7, and then dinner starts at 7. And remember, you're in Europe, so it's just not a meal; it's really an event. So plan on spending some time in between courses with unlimited wine that changes every night. It's specially paired with dinners. You'll have a red, a white, as well as a regional wine that's different every evening for you to enjoy. And if you like Pilsner beer, you're in some of the best places for a cold beer. So they're available, or if you just want soft drinks, they're available for you at dinner time too. We also serve buffet breakfast here in the morning. The buffets will change the variety from one day to the next. However, if there is something that you don't see on the buffet that you want, like I really enjoy hot Belgian waffles or else eggs Benedict some mornings, just tell your waiter. The chef will be glad to go in the back. There's a little menu. You can choose from that or else ask for something special and they'll go back and make it for you. If you have any food allergies, if you're vegan, vegetarian, or have allergies or celiac disease, let Amanda know. She'll let us know. And then when you board our ship, you're actually going to have some one-on-one time with our chef. And they're going to go over your preferences and design a menu specially for you. So we kind of have everybody taken care of, but wonderful meals back here. One of the things you'll see probably throughout the cruise is since we are a smaller vessel, there's not a lot of storage room. So every 2 to 3 days, you'll see our people out on the gangway loading in fresh vegetables and fruits and produce and meats, chickens, fish, all these things from our vendors on the sides of the mountains and off the riverbanks. So everything is very, very fresh on board the ships. And this is one deck up from our restaurant. This is our main lounge, which is called the Panorama Bar. Once again, if you'll notice, floor-to-ceiling windows. And this is on the starboard side once again. So the neat thing is if you are sitting down and we're cruising, you'll be able to look across and see everything that's happening on the other side without actually having to get up. So this is really our main hub for entertainment. Cocktails in the evenings, usually at 6 p.m. Your cruise director is going to be doing a port talk about what happens tomorrow, as well as the entertainment for this evening. And they're going to make sure that you have all your questions answered before choosing which tour you want to do the following day. And once again, this is going to be during happy hour, which are free cocktails. There's a special menu here. Or if you want soft drinks, teas, what have you, it's all complimentary during this time frame. And one of my favorite places, the observation lounge. This is actually the same deck in front of the lounge, but all the way in front of the ship with a nice overhang. Great place for an alfresco lunch, especially during any days that we're on the rivers that we're actually cruising down. It's a neat place to kind of get out of the sun. And once again, the waiters will be coming out, seeing if there's any cold beverage. because once again, during lunch, it's unlimited regional beer and wine, soft drinks, and everything else. So it's kind of a neat place for it. And when it comes to dining, here in Europe, you're going to have some of the best food out there. Anything from continental breakfast served in the your actual stateroom. You can order that the night before and have it brought to you. You can even do that for mealtime for dinner if you let them know in advance. But we also offer different venues, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner. That's our observation, or as we call it, the sky deck, which is a great place to be soaking in all the countryside on river days. But we'll also do a cookout, providing the weather is cooperating on those days. They fire up the grill and most variety of meats I've ever seen in my life. You want good sausage, you've come to the right place. But there's also steak and chicken, hamburgers, everything. Other than the dining room, in the lower left-hand corner of the picture that you're looking at is another alternative eating area for you. We serve the same menu that we do in the dining room for dinner at night. For gentlemen, we do request slacks after 6 p.m. if you're going to the dining room, and they do enforce it. They do ask you to wear them. This neat area all the way front here, you can actually order the same food that we have off the menu downstairs, but it's done in smaller portions, almost a tapas style. I like it for a couple of reasons. I like the convenience. So if I'm in town coming back late from a tour and don't want to change and get into long pants, I can come up here and have the same fabulous meal they're having downstairs. Also, I like tasting all the different entrees. And downstairs, I can't do that. It's just too much food and I don't want to waste it. So the neat thing about eating up here in the bistro area is that you're able to self-serve and take anything that you want and have as much or as little of it as you want. Everything from soups to salads, your entrees, desserts, and everything in between. So it's a very casual dining environment, but the same thing that we're serving down in the dining room, just once again, a little bit more carefree and a little bit more choice over portions. So when it comes to our included tours, we do offer three different varieties when are available on the itineraries. Most popular are going to be our classics. The classic tours are going to be the must-sees, the highlights, if you will. We do offer some what we call active. Active could be anything from I've done 26-mile bike rides down the Danube with the help of a certified guide and an expert in biking, where you're stopping in small towns and villages, going into the catacombs of the local cathedrals, and only the locals from the riverside are there. None of the ships stopped in any of the places that we visited. I've also done the bike tours through Vienna for one place. Also walks to the national parks with some of the rangers who are experts and give you the history of everything around you that you're experiencing. There's also some for discovery. One of my cruises, we were in Vienna, went into local restaurants, strapped on aprons, got into the kitchen, and learned how to make risotto and Wiener Schnitzel. And then when the cooking was done, we had a wine pairing and a fabulous lunch. So a lot of neat things to discover, hands-on engagement, if you will. Or going to a local art museum, learning about Van Impressionists and what made them so unique. And then with the help of an expert, getting a chance to do your own oil painting in the spirit of an impressionist later that evening and be able to take it back with you. So a lot of things for you to choose from, and your cruise director who on board will go over everything. You'll also have access to it after making your reservation online. You'll have your own landing page that'll outline your entire vacation and any options that you may want to take advantage of. We also use Starlink on board all of our ships, which is the most cutting edge when it comes to satellite hookup internet. So we do not charge for internet usage on our ships. When you get on board, you can hook up your mobile devices and while on Wi-Fi, communicate with back home if you want to, or else post pictures and photographs and things like that to share with everyone on social media. And on the upper right-hand side, that's our mobile app that you can actually download to any of your mobile devices, whether it be an iPad, iPhone, Android, it makes no difference. About 2 weeks prior to departing on your trip, you'll be able to go to any of the app stores, download it for free. All you do is put in your name, as well as the booking number that Amanda will provide for you, and it downloads your entire vacation to your mobile device. No need for documentation because it's all going to be in there. Everything from things to know before you go, your actual cruise documents, emergency contacts, everything. The mobile app is also very good because it's going to have maps of all the places that we're going to be visiting with all the highlights posted on them too. So if you want to do a self-guided tour one day or go back into the Christmas markets by yourself, you'll be able to do that because you can also drop a pin on the map right where the ship is so you can navigate back to it after you finish at the Christmas markets. So real neat things for you guys to enjoy and make your vacation a little bit easier. So we cover all the major rivers in Europe, from the Danube, the Main, the Rhine, the Moselle, the Seine, the Rhone, the Saône. And we are also, whoops, cruising. I think we're still the only ones, keep me honest on this, Amanda, but we were the first. I think we're still the only ones that offer less than 7 nights. We do have some cruises that we call Taste of the Danube, Taste of the Rhine, that are only 4 nights. Not that you're going to fly all the way over to Europe for a 4 night cruise, but the reason we do that is maybe you're booking a Globus escorted tour with us and want to try river cruising. Well, we can combine it with maybe a 4 night cruise to give you a taste of the Danube or a taste of the Rhine. Some people rather do a little tasting of it than dedicating 7, 10, 12 nights to their very first river cruise. So that's why we do some a little bit shorter than 7 nights.
And that
All
is
right. Well, we're just around the corner from Christmas, so it's a good time to be talking about this. I know it seems like a long way off. I've already told this to Amanda, so she's heard it before, but I've actually been here. It's my 40th year in the travel industry, and in April will be my 15th anniversary with Globus and Avalon. And last year was the first time that I was able to take a Christmas market cruise company, because we have to wait and see if there's any space available to let all of our other passengers the opportunity to go. And last year was the first time that we had enough cancellations within the window of sailing that I was able to take my wife and for us to do our first experience, and it was absolutely fabulous. I'll remind you, in case you don't know, I live in Florida, so I'm not a real fan of real cold weather, but I got to tell you, it added to the experience. It snowed for a couple of days, and it just made it even more memorable when going out and experiencing the Christmas markets and drinking the mulled wine and all the goodies and gingerbreads and things that they sell usually just during the Christmas time. It was a feast for the senses, is probably the best way to put it. So we're going to talk a little bit about one particular departure that Amanda already has some group space on. And I think a couple of you are already probably booked on this, but this is a 6 night, 7 day cruise, Christmas time on the Danube, and we're going to be doing westbound. So we're going to be starting off in Vienna, going up to Nuremberg, stopping at Milk, Green, as well as Passau, Regensburg, and then ending up in Nuremberg as well. Some of the best cities for experiencing Christmas markets. And you're invited. Right now, the departure date for the cruise would be December 11th. Obviously, you're going to need to leave the day before, fly overnight. I highly, highly recommend, and I'm sure Amanda will back me up on this, come in early, please, okay? Make sure your bags make it. There's always hiccups along the way. I always go in at least one night early. But the biggest reason is kind of acclimate to the time change. You want to be refreshed and to be able to enjoy your cruise vacation. I actually recommend it on the tail end too, if you have the time to do so. But here's some photographs here. So hopefully you came in the day before. And once again, if you are interested in doing a pre-stay, let Amanda know. She can look once again with our company, the host hotels that we use, which are very, very close to the ships themselves. And if you're doing the hotels with us, we do include the transfers from the airport to the hotel and from the hotel to the ship. If you're coming in the day that the ship actually departs on the 11th, you're more than welcome to come directly from the airport to our ship. You'll have the directions and the actual address for the ship on your mobile app, or else you can print it out before leaving home. And your taxi driver, if you're coming over independently, will be able to take you directly to our ship. Now, our vessels, you can board earlier 30. You're not going to have access to your cabins until about 3:30 because they're flipping the ship from the cruise before. So in other words, you're cleaning all the staterooms, all the public areas, but the main lounge area you'll have access to. We usually have cold drinks, teas and things like that, and even snacks and food for you that's available. If you want to, you can just come to the ship, drop your luggage, and go out and do some sightseeing on your own. Once again, we'll have not only our cruise director, but also our hotel manager there in the public areas that can help direct you to some of the areas that might be of interest to you. But you must be on board the ship by 5 p.m. or you're not going to enjoy your vacation. All right, day two. After a night on board with some great food, hopefully you catch plenty of rest because we're going to start off with a full day in Vienna. Classic excursions. Once again, you get your choice of these, but the classic this day is going to be exploring most of the highlights in Vienna, which are going to include the Habsburg winter residence, if you will, for the imperial family, as well as the iconic Vienna Opera House and also St. Stephen's Cathedral. So these are really the main highlights, but also have free time where you can be able to go to the Christmas markets. That evening, we will have an optional tour. And anywhere you hear the word or see the word optional, that means it's not included, but you have the option of paying extra if you want to participate in it. And that night in Vienna on day two, I do highly recommend the Royal Waltz concert, which is private for our people. That's right there in the heart of Vienna. It's absolutely fabulous. And then that night, we'll do an overnight cruise on to Milk, which will be our next stop. But first, here's an outside picture of the Imperial Palace in Vienna. And if you're not familiar with Sachertorte, has anybody heard of that before? The Sacher Hotel in Vienna. This is world famous torte. I kid you not. Last time I was in Vienna, I took the underground all the way to the hotel just so I could buy this torte, and then I had it shipped from Vienna back home to my mother-in-law, and she had it before we got back to the States. And it's absolutely fabulous. You can actually order it online, but if you want the full experience, I highly recommend, being able to go to the hotel and enjoying it there, or else ordering one to have these, sit home for you so you don't have to worry about carrying it with you. And here's where Schaunsburg Palace. This is once again is going to be an optional as well. It's a little bit further out, but absolutely fabulous experience. And the optional for the Royal Waltz concert that evening. And of course, don't forget Christmas markets. So day three, Milk, Austria. Uh, Absolutely beautiful little town. The big highlight here is going to be the Benedictine Abbey, which you can see here in the picture with the three spires. Without a doubt, out of all the places I've traveled in, Amanda's been to as many places as I have. I think I'm up like 41 or 42 countries at this point. The most ornate place I've ever been into. Everything is trimmed in gold. Absolutely fabulous. I highly recommend it. This is included in one of the classic excursions. I think they still have the library open. I'll show you the ceiling of the library here in just a minute. But if you do make it into the library, they do not allow photographs because some of the books are like hundreds and hundreds of years old that are on display, and they're afraid that flash photography might actually hurt them. But we also offer Discovery, which is an Austrian cookie tasting on board while we're sailing to Green, and then a classic excursion walking tour of Grin itself. And then once again, on board that ship that night, enjoying a fabulous meal on the way to Passau, Germany. But here's the ceiling in one of the rooms in the Benedictine Abbey. Absolutely fabulous. Every place you go, like I said, is trimmed in gold and just ornate that I've never seen before. It's just absolutely fabulous. You'll really enjoy this. And I always like my Austrian cookies too. And here's the town steeple and the in Grin, which will be the next stop that day before that night into Passau, Germany. Passau's a very, very unique place, very historic, very old, so it's going to be medieval here as well. But it's known as the city of three rivers because of a confluence of three rivers, the Danube, the Inn, as well as the Ilz River. Matter of fact, if you walk to the very end of the downtown area, that corner they have statues and plaques there, and you can actually see the confluence of all three of the rivers in one place, and you can actually see the difference in color of the water while you're there. However, I do highly recommend an optional tour on this day too if you've never been to Salzburg, Austria, and you're a fan of The Sound of Music. This is a long tour. It's about 10 hours, but it's well worth it. I've done it twice and I've enjoyed it immensely each time I've done it. So you'll still have a little bit of time to do a little bit of sightseeing here, but I really feel that, if you're going to go that distance, if you haven't seen Salzburg, you really need to give it a go. It's absolutely fabulous. Matter of fact, this is coming into Passau from the riverside, right near where the confluence of the three rivers are, and Salzburg. And up here at the top is going to be the Abbey that was the heart of the Sound of Music itself. Matter of fact, down from here, from the Abbey itself, you're going to have an opportunity to walk through the cemetery. And I remember a couple of places where the gates were up and they were hiding behind a stone, and you can actually see this in person. It's absolutely fabulous. Very, very picturesque place to be in general. I was fortunate last time I was there last year, I actually attended Mass at the cathedral. So if you get a chance, just depends on what you want to do that day, but I highly recommend Salzburg. It's a fabulous experience. Day 5, Regensburg, Germany. Regensburg is very, very quaint as well as medieval. It's what we consider a walking town. So the ship is going to pull to the side, and we usually give you some, and hopefully nothing's changed, but the last time I was here, we got free tokens from the ship before leaving, which gave you a free hot pretzel and also a sausage dog. A little stand that's been there for I don't have not any idea, but it's a little restaurant right next to where we dock up, and you just go and give them the ticket, and you get your free sausage dog and also fresh pretzel. So a great way to start the day, I think. But beautiful bridges going over here into the cathedral. Very, very easy to navigate. There'll be a walking tour that you can take place in, and then in the afternoon, once again, take a little bit more time to do some sightseeing on your own, or else some shopping at some of the local shops here along the riverbanks. So live entertainment tonight, evening. Once again, we're going to be cruising to Nuremberg. But here's downtown Regensburg with their Christmas markets. All right, day 6, Nuremberg, Germany. A lot to do here, a lot to experience besides the Christmas markets themselves. Once again, a discovery excursion, enjoying Christmas tradition lectures on board while sailing that morning. Really nothing for you to do, so you can enjoy it if you'd like to participate, or choose a guided tour of Nuremberg's medieval architecture, including the Gothic Cathedral, Kaiserberg Castle, which I'll show you here in just a minute. Or you can do another classic excursion, which will be a little bit more of the war stuff, if you will, Nuremberg Rally Grounds, which was used by the Third Reich. You'll also have plenty of free time to experience one of the larger Christmas markets here in Nuremberg as well. For example, a lot of the Great Bavarian Fair, bratwurst, gingerbread, mulled wine, and such. So we're going to be doing it overnight here. So you'll have plenty of time not only to experience the included tours during the day, but also have that free time in the evening to spend at the Christmas markets, or else just doing some sightseeing on your own. And last but not least, before we do, Kaiserberg Castle. It's going to be on that classic tour. And the Nuremberg Rally Grounds. And of course, Christmas markets. So much good food, so little time. Unfortunately, day 7, unless you're extending your vacation with Amanda through us, it's going to be your departure day. So breakfast will be available that morning. We usually ask for no flights to be arranged any earlier than 6:30 in the morning, just to make sure we're able to get everybody to the airport in a timely fashion to meet up with TSA requirements for pre-boarding, immigration, as well as custom checks and passports, all that good stuff that you have to go through when traveling to exotic destinations like this. However, if you have later stay independently at a hotel while you're in Nuremberg, you can stay on board the ship, even though you do have to vacate your cabin. You can leave your luggage there for a period of time if you want to go out and do some sightseeing independently. We don't force everyone off. We just want them out of the stateroom so we can clean them and get ready for the next cruise. So I think you have to be off the ship by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, though. But up until that point, you're more than welcome to enjoy the hospitality of the ship itself. And if you want brochures or else maybe even a PDF form that shows you the itinerary in more detail, or just more information, or else to actually book, Amanda Drum here, who's put all this on for us with Journeys by Amanda. This is her direct phone number. Is that correct, Amanda? Yes, okay, as well as her email address too. And I'm sure she'll be following up to see if anybody has any interest, because since you were kind enough to spend a little bit of time with us this evening, Amanda and I kind of got together, and not only are you going to get the group fare that she has blocked for you, but we're going to give you an additional $100 off per person if you make your reservation on this tour or any of our other offerings with Globus or Cosmos. If you want to do a land tour instead, and then maybe beforehand, and then do the cruise afterwards. She is our certified expert with Globus as well as all of our products. So she knows them inside and out. And she also has an in. She's got me. So if she has any questions, she knows who to call. So if you have any interest, please give her a ring. And you're invited to come sail with us. It's going to be a fantastic time. I do highly recommend, though, if you do want to go, do it as soon as possible, just by your deposits. And Amanda can go over all the pricing on a one-on-one call with her, and she can kind of do that for you and go over to make sure if you want travel insurance, if you want to come in early, if you want flights included, transfers. She's going to be your one-stop shopping for all this. So I'm going to turn it back over to Amanda, and I thank you all for joining us, and I hope to see you on board one of our ships or on one of our coaches sometime soon.
Um, we've had some questions come in on the chat as well as some people have texted me. But if a person does the Salzburg tour, since that's an all-day tour, will they have any time to see Passau, or will they kind of?
Very little. It's quite honestly, it's about a 10-hour tour. Because you're going to get on a coach and you're going to go. It's not real close. So you probably, I feel better by saying you're going to have to make a decision one or the other.
Yeah. Right.
It sounds beautiful, but I mean, there's more to see in Salzburg, in my opinion.
Mhm. So, okay. And then a question about the dinner dress code. You talked
Mhm.
about how the men need to wear long pants, but how dressy is that? I mean,
We are country club casual. We're not a highbrow type environment. Okay. So usually, and I usually talk about what men wear, and usually the ladies know based on what their men, their husbands or traveling companions, what they should wear. Uh, but anyways, yeah, a nice pair of Dockers for the guys and a golf shirt, and you're good for any night of the week. You know, 2 nights before the end of the cruise is when we'll do our farewell dinner, and that will be the gala, if you will. Usually, even as an employee, I'll put on a sports jacket, but I don't wear a tie. And you don't even have to go that far if you don't want to.
okay, good to know. And then one of your slides talked about how there are typically 5 staterooms with no single supplement, but you didn't talk about,
Yes.
can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, and I'm glad you brought that up. Uh, we were the first, and I think we're still the only ones that offer up to 5 bookings per departure on every cruise, that we will allow up to 5 bookings for single people and not have to pay a supplemental charge like other cruise lines charge. That will be the promotion. That will be their discount. We will take single bookings after those 5 are met and filled, but you'll have to pay a supplemental charge. So, and for your group, you can't hold these in a group. They have to be actually reserved with names and deposits and then moved into your group if they're available.
Right. And I am just going to throw in there, if you do want to travel with that single supplement waived, you very much need to plan your travels early. Those slots,
Absolutely.
they go
Yeah,
very,
usually by the end of April, those are gone on all of our sailings, and we operate 14 ships in Europe. So average is 7 to 10 day departures too. So they do go fast. So don't wait for them if you want to save the money, book in advance.
okay. Um, and then one other question, can today's discount code be combined with a welcome home credit that a person recently received?
Yes. Yeah, your welcome back credits mean that you've either traveled on Globus, Cosmos, Independence by Globus, or on Avalon before. So when you get home, you just get an email from us. You click on that, and it sounds like somebody already has from their past journeys, and then they're able to apply it as an additional discount on top of the promos.
Oh, and then one more just came in. What about people who maybe are challenged a little bit more mobility wise, maybe use a cane or walker?
Yeah, we do not allow scooters on board. All right, just FYI, and kind of answer before it's asked. All of our ships do have elevators. Okay. So from our lowest passenger deck, there are only 3 decks, really, if you don't count our observation or our sky deck, which is on top. And the elevator will take you from the lowest up to the main lounge area. It will not go all the way to the sky deck because there's no infrastructure up there for us to handle the elevator. However, if you do have difficulty walking and you need help crossing one of the gangways from a ship or onshore, our staff are there to help with that as well. And we also have what we call gentle walkers tours. It's something I take advantage of. I really don't have any difficulty, thankfully, walking, but amateur photographer and the gentle walkers tour, if you want one, just let either your cruise director or else hotel manager know. They'll arrange it for you. It's the same tour everyone's going on that you choose. However, it's done at a slower pace. And I like it because there are fewer people. Slower pace means I get more chances to take pictures. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. Okay, and there's a couple here I'm gonna just answer individually later, but I believe that brings us to the end of our Q&A. I do want to thank you, Patrick. Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. But give me a ring if you are looking at this tour or any other Globus tour, or just have any general questions about travel. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in for Travel Tuesday. Our next Travel Tuesday is scheduled for February 4th at 7 p.m., where we'll be talking about traveling the ring road of Iceland. Please be sure to stay connected with me, either on Journeys by Amanda or the Extravagance blog. That's where we share lots of information and have great travel news. So, stay connected and have a happy holiday and have safe journeys, everyone.